Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you all?
We are fine.
Thanks.
Fine. Hello, sir. Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
everyone.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you, Dr. Mubarak.
Thank
You are
you,
welcome
Mr.
all.
Hesse.
You are welcome.
I missed you.
So do I.
Where were you, Mubarak, sir?
Oh, hello, Pradeep.
Yeah.
How are you?
Mubarak,
Oh, Anagub.
Hello,
Hi.
Mr.
Hi.
Brady. Mr.
Yes, Kamal, sir.
Nice
Yes. How are you?
meeting you all.
I'm fine. It is the deep night now.
Just to wait 2 minutes, and after that we'll begin,
Yeah.
Hey,
giving the opportunity for others to participate.
Hello, Jabr, sir. Hello, Jabr, sir.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. I am also there.
You are
Welcome, sir.
Welcome.
Welcome, Yogesh, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Magdi.
hello, Mr. Magdi.
Hello.
You are welcome.
Welcome.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
Thank you so much.
Okay, dears, now we are 21 participants, and we come in now. Good evening again for everybody, and welcome again for Eco Training Center Sweden for new sessions about the SDGs Sustainable Development Goals. This night we are going to talk about the SDG #1, ending poverty. And as I said before, this is not a workshop, this is not a training, this is an open discussion to present our ideas, our experiences about the SDGs #1. So I hope that all participants give his contribution to advance our level in this. Would you please, anyone unmute, please mute it, because there is an echo. It's nice. Thank you. Okay, today we'll talk about the goal #1, ending the poverty. I'm KAMAL Jabr, the National Coordinator for Syria. I am Inclusive Education Advisor working for UNRWA. UNRWA is one of the United Nations organization, works for the Palestine refugee, and a member in Eco Training Center. And happy to be with you and to present this for you. As I said, I hope all to give his own ideas and experiences and share us with his or her experiences to enforce our knowledge and skills. Just we need to share my screen. Is it okay now?
Okay. It
Yes.
is
Yes, it's
visible now.
okay.
Yes,
It's okay now.
thank you. As you know, this is not just a coordinator or the facilitator for this workshop. Also, I try to accept all the contributor, all the participant in this. So from time to time, I have to see if there anybody wants to participate. Again, would you please mute your mic and to enable others to hear well. In the past two sessions, as you know, we talked about two of the SDGs, goal number 3 about the health and well-being, and goal number 4 about inclusive and equitable and inclusive education. In this session, we will talk about ending poverty. Our objectives in this session, by the end of this session, we try all the participants be able to describe the rationale and why goal number 1 of the SDGs is important for sustainability. And to map a key national stakeholders and local resources to enforce achieving this goal. And finally, to identify practical ways to engage ETC, Eco-Training Center members in achieving the goal. And there is many hidden objectives beyond this presentation.
يمكن نمشي لبيتك إذا ما فيه صداع.
Please mute, please. Okay. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We talked about the good health and well-being, quality education, and today we are going to talk about the poverty. In the beginning, I will try to give you these numbers and these statistics, facts and figures, which may are shocking you, because the big problem of poverty in all over the world. This is just a numbers. Imagine that in 2015, more than 763 million people lived below the international poverty line, in the severe poverty, or sometimes absolute poverty. This is international poverty line. It's the limit of the poor or severe poor people. Imagine that 10% of the world population is living in extreme poverty and struggling to fulfill the most basic needs. When we are talking about basic needs, we are not talking about the, for example, to be privileged to travel or have houses. Excuse me, please mute. There are 122 women aged 25 to 34 living in poverty for every 100 million of the same age group. We are talking about the women to show that there is the bad effects of the poverty on the women comparing with men. 160 million children are at risk of continuing to live in extreme poverty by 2030. Imagine this, 160, 100 million. This is not a limit. It's not a small number. I know these are shocking numbers, but we need to put the background and the base for the coming slides. In 2018, almost 8% of the world's workers and their families lived in less than 1.90 US dollar per person per day. Imagine this. And this number, we'll talk about this when we talk about the international poverty line, because this amount is the line of poverty or extreme poverty. And the high poverty rates are often found in small, fragile, and conflict-affected countries. Imagine how, even in the normal situation, the poverty is a big and a huge problem. Imagine this in the conflicts, or sometime in the disaster. We are talking about the disaster. As of 2018, 55% of the world population have no access to at least one social protection cash benefits. And here we'll talk about the social protection, which is one of the dimensions of the poverty. And every country, every government should tackle this matter into account to reduce the poverty. Now, imagine this. The COVID exchanged the world. It's a matter of a big problem, because COVID increased the number of people who suffering from everything, including the poverty. COVID-19 will push an estimated 71 million additional people into extreme poverty. Huge number, because of lack of work, lack of resources, and so on. And they couldn't reach this. Okay, this is the goal. This is a complete goal. End poverty in all its forms, everywhere. Here, we are not talking only one kind or one form of poverty, all forms and everywhere, and of course, for all ages. It means there are many forms for poverty. We'll talk about this. Before that, I will remind you that when we tackling with any goal, we have to consider the three dimensions when we working on, or we dealing with or discussing this. We have to consider the three things: the social solidarity, environmental responsibility, and economical efficiency. When we talk about the social solidarity, it means quality of life, human development, liberate the capacity of people. We're talking about the social cohesion. We are talking about the social inclusion. But when you talk about the environmental responsibility, it means we have to consider this dimension and to keep the environment issues protected and natural resources protected, even if you want to use them, and we could recycle or reuse, and to do our best to not to lose the natural resources. And also, from the third dimension related to economic efficiency, we have to tackle this matter, efficiency, to advance the economy in any country. Now, from your perspective, now a discussion. Would you please give me your definition? What are the forms of poverty from your perspective? Can we begin?
Again, the question, please.
What is poverty? From your opinion, what can you define the poverty? We used in our sessions to give you 2 minutes. If you want to write on the chat box, it's okay. If you want to discuss, okay. But you give you 2 minutes to prepare your answers.
I would like
Can I
to-
speak in Arabic?
Mr. Kamal,
Yes, go ahead.
can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah. When someone do not meet his basic needs, when someone do not meet his basic needs with his earnings, so he directly goes to the poverty, below poverty line. This is, I think so that.
Yes, from your perspective, what is the basic needs of the human being?
It is, sir, it is the state of condition in which person or community lacks the financial resources and minimum requirement to survive and live. And it also means that the income level is actually below the margin and the employment is zero for them. So it is very difficult for them to survive and meet their ends. So according to me, that is poverty.
Yes, it is not a matter of income only. There are many things can be tackled here. We have to consider when we are talking about poverty. More answers, please.
So there are many reasons like inadequate food, right? Limited resources, then I told you employment, one of them. Then if they don't have clean water to drink, right? So basic necessities, if they don't, right to education if they don't have. So all these things are like basic things which lead them to poverty. Even the medical facilities if they don't have, so then also it is like below poverty line.
Exactly. As you said, it's related not only for the income or resources, protective resources, also related to the livelihood in general, what human being needs for as a basic needs, including avoiding hunger, avoiding malnutrition, avoiding access to the resources, avoiding access to education and other basic services. All these aspects can be included in the definition. Yes, more please.
Hello.
You are welcome.
Yes, I'm John Jabr from Sweden. And as I just explained what is a poverty definition here in Sweden or Europe.
Yes.
You are not poor, just you lack of income.
Yes.
Or lack of capital in the bank. I mean, or lack of currency. Because due to the social structure, definition of poor is if you have a bad health, then you are poor. Even you have a lot of money, but you have a bad health, so you are poor. If you don't have a basic education, you are poor. So depend on where we are. And of course, our Indian colleagues give a very good definitions. I mean, what is poverty in India? In India, of course, sometimes people have income, they have a job, but money is not enough. So they count as a poor.
Hello.
Yes. Only
Yes.
I
Hello,
just give
sir.
a kind of comparison between different countries. How you can calculate a poverty. Yes.
Yes.
I totally agree with
Yes.
John, sir. Yeah.
Sir, may I? Sir, may I?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm Kunda Bachaw from India.
Go ahead,
Hello, sir.
please. Yes.
Sir. Sir, I think issues like hunger, illness, and poor sanitations are all causes.
and effects of poverty. It means that is to say that not having food means being poor, but being poor also means being unable to afford food or clean water. And also that ma'am said that not getting right of education is also called poverty. Thank you, sir.
Yes, you are talking about the comprehensive definitions of poverty. Yes, that's right. When we consider this matter, not just a poverty, we have to consider other merits, other interlinking goals. For example, education, health, gender, and other things. I mean, this goal is a base for other goals. And if anybody poor, it means there is lack of access for other resources, education, health, and so on. So this is the importance of this goal. And as I show you, the shocking numbers, figures in all over the world shows how big this problem and why this all the stakeholders should tackle this and consider this one of the basic goals in their lives. Yes. Are there forms of poverty or only one form?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity and this great presentation. Second, I'd like to say that poverty is related to the needs of the basic requirements of adequate life, including health, including food, including clothing, schooling, and housing. So anything that lacks in all these basic needs is considered as poverty. That's why it cannot be related to a poverty line like in a currency like US dollars, for example, $2 or so, because these $2 can provide food and schooling in some places, in some regions of the world, while in US, for example, they can do nothing to you. Okay, so it cannot be limited to a sum of money, but rather it can be related to the basic needs and their accessibility, the accessibility to the basic needs of a proud life.
Yes,
This
exactly.
is the point.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Dr.
Kamal.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Dr.
Can I say something or add something?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In addition to all what my colleague said, I can say if you can't express yourself freely in your country, so that you are a poor man. So human rights are very important to be rich in your country. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tahir Jambabar, you raised your hand.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. You are poor because if you have a not enough participation, if you can't raise your voice, for example, if there is a no human right for you, the lack of right make you poor.
Yes, right. After a while, we will talk about the social protection, and we will discuss that even the social cohesion, social discrimination, and exclusion is a matter of social protection, and all the government should tackle this, not to neglect and to leave anybody to be aside or to be excluded or marginalized. This definitions, this concept can cover many aspects in our lives, not only a lack of resources or low income.
Right.
Yes.
Actually, if we say this last goal number 17, is a participation. So participation means that how active you can be. And if you are missing this phone, then you are poor. If you can't raise your voice, if
Yes.
you could not participate, so this means this also goal are connected to the poverty. Yeah.
Yes, yes, thank you. In fact, there is many forms of the poverty. There, of course, it is not just a sorting or classifying the poverty. No, but each one of them have its own merits and advantages or disadvantages. Situational poverty, absolute poverty, relative poverty, urban, rural, and many forms. It means it differs from place to place, country to country, even from village to the city. This is why we will see a line for the poverty, not only in the country, maybe in the region or in the international line. Okay. Now, in the chat box, please, I will give you 2-3 minutes to tell me why goal SDG is important for sustainability. Remember, here I'm talking about the sustainability, not talking about the importance how can we cover that, how can you to achieve this, why it is important for sustainability, and what its connection with other goals. As we said, it's interrelated, interconnected with other goals. Just 2 or 3 minutes, and after that we can discuss. In the chat box, please.
Hello, sir. Jabr, sir. May I?
Yes, just 2 minutes to give opportunity for all to write their answers. Why it's important for sustainability? What is its connection with other goals? Yogesh,
Yes, sir.
you want to say anything?
Yes, yes. I think
Go ahead.
poverty, the first goal, is very important for sustainability, because if you are hungry, then you can't do anything. Even when your basic needs are not fulfilled, then you can't achieve goal number 3 as your hygiene, health. If you are hungry, then you can't give quality education to others. So basic need is you must fulfill your poverty. You have to achieve some food or your daily bread and butter to use your energy with fulfilling other 16 remaining goals. So I think the first goal, poverty, it is very important to fulfill remaining 16 goals. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
So they are all interrelated. Like if a person is poor, so the basic needs cannot be fulfilled, and basic needs may like education, right to education, right to all the goals, they come in when it comes to poverty. And when one cannot fulfill the other goals, then they are all interdependent. So that is why it is very important for sustainability. And then that is why we can it comes in SDG1 is related with all other goals. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. To add something to your answers, from my background as educator, imagine that students go to the school and he is or she is hungry. hungry. How can he understand? How can use his energy? Will not play, will not read good, not study good, and will not understand. So very important for education. If you want to go to the health, hunger will affect the body, affect the brain, affect the well-being. If you want to talk about the gender or the social relations, this matter, anybody, if he hungry, will be under stress all the time. It means more violence against women, against others. This matter is very important to think about, because when I get the basic needs of mine, it means I can be more protective and can be kind and be in good situation and good relation with others. Yes, thank you for your answers.
Absolutely, Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, I just say it in one sentence. I say that an empty stomach blocks the mind.
Yes,
You
sure.
you can't go further if you are hungry. You can't think, you can't be creative, you can't be sustainable, because sustainability needs to use your mind and your brains in order to produce something that is recurrent and that leads to things about the future. This
Exactly.
is my point.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go ahead now. If you remember also, when we talk about any goal, we talk about its targets and the indicators. And we said that the targets, it's to specify exactly what are the SDG, the target. Here we are talking about the 7 targets of the goal number 1. And if we want to talk about the indicators, we have 11 indicators to measure the progress of the SDG number 1. Sorry, this is number 1. In effort to make SDG successful. And this is very important to collect data, to measure the progress, to monitor and to evaluate the impact of any activities can be done for reducing or ending the poverty. We'll begin now. This is the target number 1. Of course, I will not read all these, but just to give a quick and short, let's say, talking about this. Target number 1, talking about eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere. Extreme poverty. Not just poverty. We talked about the comprehensive definition of poverty, but here the extreme poverty, and it's explained here, less than $1.25 a day for each, of course. Less, and this is a huge number in the world. How can we measure this? The indicator proportion of population below the international poverty line. The international poverty line is the same of $1.25 per day per person. Of course, we can categorize them by sex, age, employment status, and geographical, local, urban, or rural. Target number 2. This is, of course, all the targets we have to consider to 2030 as the agenda. And we are going to achieve this agenda by 2030. Target 2 here, reduce at least by half of the population of the men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in its dimensions according to the national definitions. Here, why national definitions? Because there is a difference of the poverty line. There is a difference between country and country, between area and area. So we have to consider this. There is a national definition, not international only. We have also national definitions, and we have to consider this when we measure the indicators, measure the progress and the achievements to achieve this. We have here 2 indicators. proportion of population living below the national poverty line by sex and age. This is also related to national poverty line. The other one, proportion of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its dimensions according to the national definitions. Here we have yeah, of course, it differs from country to country, from area to area, but the dimensions of the poverty related to the household income, it's related to limited education, it's related to health insurance, it's related also concentrated spiritual poverty, and last, unemployment. We have, this is general, but it's not the same, and it's not in the same level for all countries. As we talked about the national definitions, it means maybe we find more dimensions from all, and each one can consider many things other than these 5 dimensions. Here we have discussion. We can also write on in the chat box, and we can then discuss. Well, let's discuss this target. By 2030, reduce all at least by half of the proportion of men, women, children of all ages living in poverty in its dimensions of according to the national definitions. Now, can you tell us about the dimensions of the poverty in your country? And how can we contribute in reducing the poverty due to your national definitions? We talked about 5 dimensions. We talked about household income, about limited to access to education, limited to health, and the unemployment. For you and your country, you as members of Eco-Training Center or coordinator for Eco-Training Center or guests, there are many, let's say, dimensions considered in your country. Tell us about them, please. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, write, and then discuss. Mute, please, mute.
يعني أنا عايزة أضيف حاجة، بس يا ريت أتكلم بالعربي إن أمكن.
Of course, go ahead. بس ممكن would you please introduce yourself, because I can't catch all the pictures, because I use as a facilitator for presentation and for the accepting others. Yes. تفضلي قدمي نفسك
حاضر. أنا سناء، مدير إدارة التعليم المجتمعي للمتسربين من التعليم.
You are welcome.
المنيا. طبعا احنا الفئة اللي احنا بنتعامل معاها فئة فقيرة جدا جدا، لدرجة انهم بيجوا المدارس بتاعتنا عشان يحصلوا على 10 كيلو زيت وإزازة زيت في الشهر.
Yes.
العيال بتيجي عندنا سوري يعني مش لابسين حذاء في رجليهم، وفي الشتاء ممكن تلاقيهم لابسين لبس مقطع، وممكن عملت الأطفال بقى عندنا العيال دي بتشتغل، ممكن ما يجوش كمان عشان يحصلوا على 60 جنيه في اليوم، ويجوا يتخانقوا معانا أولياء الأمور يا عيني لأنهم بيصرفوا على إن ما عندهمش أي دخل. طبعا دي في القرى والنجوع اللي مالي محافظة المنيا. دي أقل حاجة أنا ممكن أقولها عن الفقر عندنا. كفاية.
Okay. Thank you. Sana talked about an example, very sad example about some students who are dropped out from the schools, and they're trying to collect them to go back to the education, and their situation is very bad, and they came to schools. They came to schools without without good
Shoes.
clothes or food, and they came to school to get some money and to get some assistance, not for education, not just to get some assistance, food or some money. This is in Egypt, in Minya Governorate. Just to explain, this is enforcing our idea why we should tackle this from all, not only from the government, even from the NGOs, local communities, and from persons as well. Okay, we can now talk about our question about the dimensions from a local or national perspective. Would you please? Who wants to talk?
Yes. Sir, can I?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm Dr. Sangeeta Mahajan from India.
You are welcome.
Yes, sir. Unemployment is the dimension in India.
Yes.
So we can overcome this problem by educating people in India, and we can reduce the poverty by funding the poor people, or giving funds to the poor child, and give education to all, or means education to everyone. Thanks.
Thank you very much. This is an example from India. More example from other countries. Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, speaking from Nigeria. I'm Ambassador Anna Wikechukwu Augustine. The situation in our country, that many people become poor, and to reduce it, we have to do what is called poverty alleviation, whereby many people don't have anything to start doing something, or the rest cannot go to school because of money. The parents have nothing doing. Most especially this very COVID-19 have sacked many people from their work, and a lot of companies are just reducing their workers. So the help that we sustain people here is to create opportunity for them to be working and be paid, so that they can even have food to eat. We are talking of education is a person that eat food that will go to school. And because when we are talking of reducing the violence, we know that a hungry man is an angry man. So reducing violence, first of all, you have to give somebody food to eat. And that is a very, very problem we are seeing here. A lot of things get done, and even the government is seeking the way to help themselves. They cannot even pay some workers. It's a very big problem. And when they could not pay some workers, they retrench them and sack them to go. They reduce their workers. Some people, some companies and banks reduce a lot of, retrench a lot of workers. And those workers that have been retrenched, they have families, they have children to take care of. And that sociological need is not even end. No food, no clothing, and some that want to marry could not marry. A lot of girls, not only they're out of school, they have no man to marry them, because the men that will marry them have no money to even marry them and take care of them. So empowerment is the solution for something for them to do and be paid. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There is also a very important example about the importance of this goal. Have anybody considered the unemployment as a dimension in his country or her country? I'm talking about unemployment. Does it a dimension in your country?
I think
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Excuse me.
Yes.
Just one point. Yeah, I think that unemployment is a very crucial dimension of poverty. People who don't work, who don't have a job, okay, they are potentially poor because they have no income. And poverty in Morocco varies according to geographical regions. there are some regions which are poorer than others. Also, within the regions, there are a kind of gender discrimination or so, because poverty among women is higher than poverty among men. So we consider also, is it an urban center or rural zone? So rural zones in Morocco suffer from poverty more than urban centers. So it's a variation, but all in all, we can say that about 14% of the population in Morocco suffer from poverty.
Oh,
And of course, when it comes to the definition of poverty, we can include a lot of other factors. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a good example from
Hello, Kamal.
Yeah, sir.
Say
Morocco.
something. I want to say something, Kamal.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with Mubarak sir. I think the population is the crucial thing regarding the poverty. Thinking about India, a lot of population is the resource, because we have a lot of population and we have limited resources. So it is not possible to all the governments in India to provide all those needs, basic needs, to all the people. So the when we think about the reducing population, so we can get particular resources to all the strata of the society. I think so.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you. From part of the side of the
Sir,
government, they should have
yeah.
their own solution to work locally and regionally and internationally to reduce these effects on the population. Either to increase the number of the population, but they have to find and to create new resources for them for work and for live. Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, sir, unemployment rate is high in certain countries where people are educated but job is not given and their wages are very less. This also count as one of the reason where we feel we are poor, because the young generation is facing this such kind of problems, and it affect their health also, because worrying is anxiety, worrying, not employed or not paid well. This also lead us to feel the poverty within us.
Yes, very, very important. For the readiness for this, any type of problems can be faced the government and the people in any country. Okay, thank you all. We will move to the target number 3. It's related here. We are talking about the implement nationally appropriate social protection system. Look at this social protection system. It is very important to talk about, because it's a comprehensive and inclusive for to include all the aspects of the poverty, not only lack of resources or the low income. We have to consider all this and what the reasons are, what the effects. Social protection system and measures for all, including floors, and by 2030 achieve substantial coverage of all poor and vulnerable. Very, very important here, not just to consider the poor, even the vulnerable people can be poor in the future or can be marginalized or excluded. We have to consider them, because, you know, when anybody marginalized, it means will be poor or vulnerable to be poor. Now, what is the social protection? The social protection, it's a range of policies and programs. Why? To reduce the lifelong sequences of poverty. What are the sequences here? We have to consider the exclusion. We have to consider the education, the access to education. We can consider the school meals. For example, we could talk about education. The skills should be given for the youth and for the people to be worker in the future. We can talk about healthcare, about the family connection, about the immigrants, about the refugees, even nutrition, many things we can consider. All these aspects all come under the social protection system. The indicator for this, or how can we measure this target by proportion of population covered by social protections floor systems, there should be a system for each country for the social protection. This matter is very important, trying to solve many problems, not only just a lack of resources. Goal number 4, ensure that all men and women, in particular the poor and the vulnerable, have equal rights to economical resources, as well as access to basic services, ownership and control over land and other forms of properties. Here we are talking about many things, not only one thing. We are talking about living household and access the basic services, and other is their right in lands. There are in inheritance, in appropriate and even the appropriate technology and financial services. Here, government should guarantee first and to provide opportunities to all people to get this right, should have equal right. Each one should have a right to reach the economical, to get a job, to have good salary, to control his own land or properties or investment, and to even in the natural resources, has a right to get and use them. Of course, there is 2 indicators to measure this target. Going here to the other one related to the appropriate social protection system. We talked about this, sorry. Yes. Here, very important as eco activist. Target number 5, building resilience of war and those vulnerable situation and reduce their exposure and vulnerability. To what? To climate-related extreme events. There is many poor people become poor because of natural disasters. This is related to the climate-related extreme events and other economic, social, and environmental shocks and disasters. Many environmental or let's say natural disaster can cause a huge level of poverty. Here we have 3 indicators: number of deaths, missing person and person affected by disaster per 100,000 people. The other one, direct disasters, economic loss in relation to global gross domestic product. And last, number of countries within national and local disaster risk reduction strategy. This is also not important for the local level, also regional and for the international level. If you want to go to the other discussion related to this goal about the resilience of the poor and those in vulnerable situation to reduce their exposure to vulnerability, climate-related extreme events, and economical, social, and environmental shocks and disasters. Here we want to talk about, focus on the environmental and the climate. How can climate-related events and environmental disaster affect on vulnerable people? And what can we do to reduce these effects? Give you 5 minutes to write on the chat box, and after that we can discuss.
I can't hear.
Somebody.
Somebody is having a nap.
Yes, Mr. I'm trying to mute them all, but you know, I can't control everything.
Yeah.
It's not me.
No. I don't know who is or she who is.
Maybe snorer. Great.
I am boring. I am don't know. Went back, snoring.
Well, that's fine. Actually, I'm hearing, and so I mean, anybody can raise any questions. That's fine.
Okay. Can we begin? Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, no, actually, yes, I repeat the same thing. I mean, goal number one, reduction of poverty, I mean, it is linked with so much factors and goal. But I think one of the things, education is very, very important factor to solve the poverty. For example, with the education, yes. So is there anybody have any local problem? I mean, because as we see, the some of the country, maybe people are I mean, have access to go to the primary schools. Maybe it's 50%. So I mean, this is one of the factors which is a hindrance for the development, the lack of education facilities. But
Yes.
of course, country like India, China have education access nearly for everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I can understand that Mr. Babar meant that can education enable us and empower us with tools to solve the problems can be happened because of the poverty. But here we want you also to give me an example from environmental disaster effect on the vulnerability of people and increase the percentage of poor people. Have you ever faced any experience about this, and how can this matter can be solved by using what?
Yes, Mr. Kamal.
Yes, please.
I can give an example in Egypt. If you have maybe a tourism project on one of the on one bank of the sea, and natural disasters like hurricane and something else like this,
yes,
maybe come destroyed your project. This is make you poor, of course. So the government can introduce some rebuild your project, maybe. Thank you.
Yes. In fact, it is not just a matter of the government to do this. It's a matter of everybody. Excuse me. I can't hear you well because of somebody have a problem in the mic. Yes, please. Okay.
Excuse me, I want to talk.
Yes, just to say that it's not a responsibility of the government. It's a responsibility of everybody to tackle this, to give hands for reducing these effects
ممكن
of
أضيف حاجة حضرتك؟
You hear me?
أنا سامعك. ممكن أضيف حاجة؟
Yes.
I want to talk. I
Yes,
want to talk.
Yes, we have to go ahead.
Okay, ladies first.
اتفضلي.
اوكي. يعني انا تهيألي معلش يعني ان الفقر او الفقر سببه الجهل. فالجهل لوحده، الجهل يعني التعليم، يعني احنا لو عايزين نقوم اي بلد بالتعليم، فطبعا التعليم بيكلف كتير، فاحنا لازم من مشاركه مجتمعيه من اي حته علشان نقدر نقوم التعليم في اي مكان، سواء في المناطق اللي فيها مناطق حاره، ولا الطقس فيها مش حلو، ولا في مصر معلش عدد سكاننا مؤدي ان احنا برضو في فقر وكده. لازم من دور المشاركه المجتمعيه. شكرا.
شكرا. She talked about the illiterate and it caused the poverty. The reason behind the poverty is illiterate ignorance, not illiterate. Yeah, I mean that even the education cost a lot, but in fact, not education cost more. Thank you.
Hi, I want to talk.
Yes, please.
I am very happy to be with you on this prestigious platform of Eco Center Training Center. I'm Mustafa Muhib from Morocco.
Welcome.
And I'm happy to see Mr. Aqdar, my colleague from another city in Morocco. And just I would like to add something concerning this problem of climate-related event and its effect on vulnerable people. I will take the example of Morocco. The example of Morocco, most of the frequent disasters we have is the lack of rain. And since Morocco is purely agricultural, and most poor people live on agriculture, they don't have too much money to live because there is no rain. And when there is no rain, there is no money. And it's a very big problem in Morocco. So that's why I think as a solution to this problem, to reduce these effects, is that the policymakers should think of trying to change the system of economy, changing from agriculture to industry in order to get rid of this problem. And thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, thank you. Very, very nice example about the lack of rain and its effects on the livelihood, and then when the number of the poor people will increase because of the lack of the rain. Thank you. Any other example or answer if you want to add something before go to other targets? Yes.
May I, sir?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, last year in India, there is a state Maharashtra. There was a flood in Maharashtra last year. So all lives in Maharashtra were disturbed due to this flood, and there is very agriculture farmers are very disturbed due to this flood, and their crops are vanished due to the flood. The solution for it is to plant more trees. As we plant more trees, we save the agriculture and the soil also. Thank you.
Yes, yes. As I understand, it's a matter of dissertation, and planting trees will reduce this disaster and give opportunity for the people to plant. Is it right?
Hello, Kamal sir.
Right,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you.
sir.
Yes. Here you are.
Pradeep is there. Yes, yes, and I'm agree with Sangeeta ma'am. She's from my state and my district, and she was telling that if we plant more trees, we can stop the soil erosion so that we can save our agricultural products from the floods.
Yeah,
And
right,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Most of the population living in India in villages, and they are dependable on the agricultural products. And nowadays, in this year too, we Maharashtrians have lot of and heavy rain. Due to this, we have lost lot of crops in rainy season. So nowadays, the agricultural who are depend in the agricultural products becomes so uh, what we say they are badly impacted because due to the heavy rain. So
Yes.
they don't get their crops in their hands. Then how can they survive their lives? So I think government should do something for those people who lost their agricultural products. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Good example. Thank you very much. Here we are talking about new target. This is 1A, talking about the mobilization of resources from variety of sources, including through enhancing development cooperations in order to provide equity and predictable means for developing countries, in particular least developed countries. Here we are talking about, as you know, to develop cooperation and partnership between developed and developing countries to set up new policies and fruitful policies and programs to reduce and to solve this problem. We have two indicators here: proportion of resources allocated by the government directly to the poverty reduction program, and the other one, proportion of total government spending on the essential services. Because as we said, when the government spend money for education, for health, and for social protection, it means help also to reduce the poverty. Because when we educate people, we give them tools to get rid of the poverty and to help them to get jobs and so on. Now we can talk about the last goal, which is 1B, which tackle related to the sound policy frameworks at the national, regional, and international level. This is also of the cooperation between the governments to reach to and achieve this goal, based on pro-poor and gender-sensitive developments, strategies to support accelerated investment to poverty reduction actions. We have to consider this, and all government should invest in this matter to reduce the poverty. There's also one indicators proportion of government's recurrent and capital spending to sector that disproportionately benefit women and the poor and vulnerable groups. This is in general only these goals. There are not so many. We go now to the discussion. Here, sorry. Our task here in write box, come on, you can in the chat box, we can write what are your suggestions to achieve goal number 1 in national, regional, and international level. As Eco Training Center members or coordinator or guests, how can you enforce and support achieving SDG goal? What are the suggestions? Suggest we to achieve this national, regional, and international. Just give me some suggestions, and how can we enforce from your perspective, from your opinion.
Hello, Dr. Kamal.
You're welcome, Dr. Izzat. Here you are.
Yeah.
Not yours.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you today. Yeah. First, I'd like to say happy World Teachers Day for all of you. And I really miss you a lot. Sorry for being, I wasn't able to talk to you the last time. Yeah, and thanks to Dr. Kamal for his always gathering us for this fruitful discussions. Yeah, concerning this point, I think education is a basic for solving this problem. Yeah, we should start from education. This is our we are doing our part as Eco Training Center or an NGO. On the international level, I think SDG goals are the key to solve these problems. And on the national level, I think we should cooperate as NGOs and members or the individuals to solve this problem. Yeah, thank you for choosing this critical point, and we're looking forward to more goals like this.
Thank you, Dr. Izzat. Thank you. I meant by this question to say that this is not just a government responsibility. Everyone should have his own responsibility to tackle this issue and to solve and to reduce the poverty. As individuals and as NGOs or community or groups or even government in local level, regional, many countries, and or international level. Yes. More answer, more example, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Kamal. Thank you for this interesting meeting and this interesting topic. I just have some suggestions. For example, to improve access to sustainable livelihoods,
Yes.
to provide some access to basic social services for people, for poor people, and to some people have to be empowering for even people with living in poverty, and we have to empower their organizations. I think that it's very important to intensify international some cooperation, international cooperation for eradicating poverty. So as you say, it's not just a political question, but we have to cooperate all to eradicate poverty cause. Thank you, Kamal.
Yes, thank you. Your addition to Mr. Izzat, yes, is very fruitful and important. Here we have to consider many aspects in locally when we talk about the public sector and the private sector. When we talk about many economical sector in the country can tackle fully in this matter. For example, many organizations and many companies, let's say, many companies can consider a social responsibility when they tackling this issue. For example, they can hiring more staff, more employees, and train them and give them opportunity to upscale their levels and get sometime let's say jobs. The responsibility of the companies as economical orientations is very important and should let's say integrate with the government contributions. This is an idea to enroll all, to include all the aspects of and the players, stakeholders in the government, in the any country, government, economical sector, even NGOs, even schools, ministries can do this to achieve this goal. Yes. I will give you the floor for the people who are writing on the chat box. If they want to say something, I will give an example from the answer in the chat box. For example, most important is empowered the people, reducing the socio-economical gap, reducing differences between upper and lower caste. Yes, educating people to think beyond caste, politics, creating jobs. Many ideas. Yes, thank you. Education is the key. Yes, students can help in local areas to spreading education. Yes, thank you. Capacity building and empowerment will solve a lot of poverty issues. Exactly. Donating all the clothes, furniture. This is very simple and fruitful idea. Educate people. Donation in all forms of money. Here I want to talk about the responsibility of the international organization and the developed country to help and to assist the developing country to reach this goal, because this goal not just for the developing country or developed country, this is for all, to reduce the poverty. It doesn't mean that the poverty only dedicated for the for the Africa or Asia or South Africa or in the Asia. No, it's also available in many rich countries because of maybe many reasons, corruptions or lack of resources. But the good policies and the right orientation to do this help the government to achieve this goal. This matter affects not only the poor countries, it affects all, affects even the rich, because we see and we notice that even the people sleeping in the street, they are homeless and they are sometimes need money to eat, just to eat. It means it's an international problem, not only a local or African or Asian problem. What can we do? What can we do as an Eco Training Center members? What can we do now? This is the last question. After that, we can finish. But give me many ideas from your perspective. How can support achieving SDG #1?
So what I feel is that together we can make many policies, but implementation of the policies keeping in mind the people below poverty line, and implementing them honestly so that the deserving people get it, that is very, very important according to me. Secondly, the employment, the people who are privileged and they have money and they are higher class, upper class, they should be supporting the lower class by giving them employment so that they can work and earn and they can run their families, so that they can bring the they can at least meet the basic needs required. That is what I feel. And whatever we do as ETC members together, that also we should ensure that amount, or that whatever we make the policy, should reach the hands of the people who need it, not in the hands of people who don't need it and they spend that money on their needs. That is very, very important, the dispersal of the funds.
Yes, that's right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is from your perspective. Yes,
Yeah,
please. If you have any more,
can I
yes,
speak?
please. Yes, please.
Yeah, Dr. Kamal. Yes.
Where you are, Dr. Azad.
Yeah, sorry. I think we as coordinators and eco-training center all over the world, we should translate these goals into activities, into trying to facilitate them to the people in order to achieve them. As we said, education is the key. So we start from education. As educators and the coordinators, we need to change these goals into real activities, real practices in our societies. And I think this starts from us as teachers and the coordinators. And I'd like here to thank some of the active coordinators who are always doing their best to achieve these goals and trying to translate them into activities. Yeah, this is my opinion. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi, can
Yes.
I?
From Nigeria here, and
Yeah.
I will get you
Yes,
my name.
yes,
I
doctor.
know that every country know what there is area of specialization, as God have created different countries with different talents. Then eco coordinators should look into their respective countries and know what they can do. Number one, job cannot fall from heaven and come. Job is being created. So if we can, the national coordinators can know our country, what our country have, the mineral resources or whatever they have that is looking for a kind of investors.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi again.
Yes.
I think as teachers, we are mainly agents of change. We are the future, and we make the future from by teaching our students who are really the future of our planet. So as teachers, we've got to infiltrate in our students that social justice is very important vis-a-vis of how to reduce poverty. Okay, so and education is the key factor to going beyond the limits of poverty and at least living a sort of a humble and modest life, neither more, neither less. That's what I think. Thank you very much.
We are all agree that education and education and education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only the poverty, we can solve so many problems and we can achieve everything. Yes, agree completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this very insightful.
Yes.
I just want to add that when we talked about education, because it's very important to make possible to sensitize people about certain principles such as equity, equality, democracy, and in ATC, I think we have to do some workshops to discuss these principles and how these principles can sensitize people, and it can lead to eradicate poverty. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Azzat and Dr. Babar are with us and hearing us, and I think he and they will take this suggestion into consideration. Thank you. Okay. I finished for today. I want to thank you all for your fruitful ideas and your very important experiences and the information you shared and joined us and to the benefit of all. Before leaving, I will give you a floor if you want to say anything. And I want to ask you all to open your camera to take a picture, a group picture, collective one.
Mr. Kamal.
Yes, Pradeep.
May I ask a favor from you and Izzat sir?
Excuse me?
It is too late. It's been too late in India. So
Yeah.
can we arrange next meetings 1 hour before?
Okay, we'll discuss this and we inform you.
Yeah, because it's
Inshallah.
now 12 p.m. 12 hours in India now.
Yes, yes.
Actually, it is actually difficult for us to,
Yeah.
attend, and then, next day we have to go out for work also. So in case if you can consider, that would be really great. We will be really grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we can put our next meetings 1 hour before.
Okay. I will coordinate this with Mr. Izzat and inform you, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you.
We all Indians requesting for it, sir.
Yeah. It's a general request. So please, Dr. Kamal,
Yeah.
we'll discuss it.
And Mr. Kamal, most of the presenters are from India.
Yeah. We have to consider this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Morocco too.
Yeah, Morocco too.
We
Yes.
are ladies.
Very active. In fact, they are very active. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Open your cameras, please, to take the pictures. Yes, please, all. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody.
Thank you
for
so much.
joining
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, all.
And goodbye.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.